Hello, this is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com, here bringing you my fourth league match with my Gruul Hydra's Tribals deck. Gruul Hydra's Tribal deck, Hydra Tribal deck. Anyway, I'm stumbling in part because I have triple Utopia Sprawl plus Kiora. I mean, holy cow. We're keeping it. We have so much action. We saw, however, in our last match how we have so much setup. Oh, we're against Tron. Is it going to be fast enough? We saw in our last match how having all the setup and no finishers is a problem. So Tron, oh man. Okay, so they kept a 7. Next turn we can do a lot, and hopefully it'll be fast enough. But I have a feeling it's not going to be, given that our opponent is going to have Tron on turn 3. Nope, maybe not. Maybe they will not have Tron on turn 3. Alright, so this blue makes me think counter magic. This Kiora is really, really important to our game plan. See if they counter it. They do not. See if they counter this. All the manas. Please don't counter it, opponent. You know you don't want to. There's a reason they played a blue source on turn 2, though. It's probably, okay, I'm about to say it's probably not just to crack the expedition map, but... Now the question is, how much do we want to commit right now? Because they're probably going to blow up the world soon enough, right? So do we want to sandbag some things? I think I do want to sandbag Hardened Scales and Utopia Sprawl for a rebuilding. Or do we just want to go all in and try to race? Oh, the questions, the questions. Alright, we're going to just run out the Hardened Scales and hope that we can draw a finisher next turn. And then if we do, things are going to be looking very nice for us. Goldvein Hydra would be the best. Opponent's looking to assemble Tron, not next turn, but the following turn. So a Field of Ruin would be also acceptable. We have the tools, both in the main and the sideboard, to help fight against Tron. Can we draw them? Will it be fast enough? Do they have interaction with our board? Can we find a Field of Ruin or a Hydra? I'm not even sure what I'd want to see at this point. Okay, well, what did they get? They got a mine. They have a mine. So Field of Ruin, I mean, they're going to get Tron no matter what next turn if we don't draw a Field of Ruin. And if we do draw a Field of Ruin, they got a mine. That's weird. They must have, it seems like they already have Tron in hand. Hydra? Can we get a Hydra? Another Kiora. Well, what can you say? Sometimes you don't draw your finishers. We saw that in our game 1 of the last match. However, should they decide to blow up the world instead of casting at one of the finishers of one of their own finishers, then we'll have a quick rebuilding. I mean, we saw this in some of our practice matches against the Karth deck. I think it was with our Magda deck. I mean, having so much of your deck committed to supporting your ramp plan or your synergistic growing your Hydras plan does lead sometimes to you just drawing those kind of cards. What are they getting? Snaring Bridge? Maybe not yet. The One Ring, Engineered Explosives. Yep, that's a big one. So this is the blowout that I was talking about. And not in the way I had envisioned it, but it is nevertheless a blowout. I mean, you see how important, though, hitting a Hydra that turn was, right? It would have changed the entire dynamic of the game. They might have still gotten Engineered Explosives, but it would have gotten their life total down, drawn us a card, Now if we hit a Hydra, oh, another land. Alright, well, we knew that there was a chance they'd blow up the world, and we ran out the hardened scales anyway, and trusting the magic gods that we would draw into something. We did not. And we are drawing all of our early game and none of our late game. So that's the way it is sometimes. Opponent's just getting to go for everything that they could have ever dreamed. Sundering Titan to blow up our lands. Yep, and that will be scooping of the game. See what we draw though first. Opponent's at a healthy 20. We have 2 lands and a Kiora. Straight up balling right now. What can I say? This is the danger of the deck. We didn't see this much in our practice matches. The luck was more on our side. We drew the Hydras when we needed them. And there's the Field of Ruin. Thank you, deck. You mock me yet again. Yeah, so we that's just one of the dangers of playing a deck like this, where you're committing so many of your cards to a strategy, to powering out a high-end strategy. Sometimes you don't draw those cards. Alright, so Alpine Moon. Force of Vigor, we might want to bring in just for things like Ensnaring Bridge. You could also get rid of some other problematic permanents. It's very reactive though. Alpine Moon and Field of Ruin are really our key ways of beating Tron. Bone Crusher Giant can work against the One Ring, Lightning Bolt. Yeah, I mean, we were all set up there for a big turn. And had they gone for that engineered explosives, then had we had a Hydra out, I'm not sure the game would have been different. Although I don't think with that X in it, it's considered a 1-mana value, and it would have gotten blown up by engineered explosives as well. Alright, well, what do we want to cut? We have 3 cards. Domri is one of our ramp packages and does give us some sort of fight. Take out 1 Bone Crusher and 1 Bolt, maybe? Bone Crusher, maybe 2 Bolts. Alright, Tron. Wow, we were like back 10 years ago now. I mean, we're back a few years ago, I feel like, playing Burn and into Tron. Okay, so this is okay. I like where we're at. We will keep. Alright, so we have the Alpine Moon, we have the Utopia Sprawl, we have a Field of Ruin, we have a lot of protection. This is the exact kind of, and we have the 3-mana Planeswalkers and a finisher. I mean, this is everything we could hope for. They kept 7 again. Boo and hiss. Do we want to run out? Do we want to make this red for any reason? So we play Kiora. No, we don't need to. Green. Alright, well, they kept 7, which does not bode well for us. However, we have a very fast start and 2 ways of interacting with their Tron lands. Alright, so here's the question I usually have with Alpine Moon now. So do we want to name one that they fetch up or one that they play? Or do we just want a Field of Ruin? We could, I just don't know what to do. So okay, this is what we can do this turn. We can get real greedy, right? Field of Ruin, the Urza's mine. Get a mountain, play Alpine Moon, name Urza's mine. I think I'd rather advance our game plan a little bit. We can still name something with Alpine Moon. This may be the greedy. So we named Urza's Tower. What we're hoping then is we're just guessing, right? Obviously, but then if they go get another piece, whatever piece they want with the expedition map will then blow up with the Field of Ruin. So what this does set them up, since they had that one in hand, they could also just besiege you at the end of turn, turn this back on, go fetch up a land, and then be off to the races. So we probably want to take this slow. And blow up their mine. This does allow us to still cast Domri this turn. Or hold up Stomp. I think we might want to hold up Stomp for the one ring though. See if they have that Beseju or not. A Prismatic? Nope, that's a sorcery it looks like. Oh, they mistapped. So next turn we're going to get, hopefully, if this resolves at least, this Domri. They may have a counter spell though. I'm about to say we're going to get a big Shivan Devastator. Assuming they don't counter this. And they may want to counter it and not take a turn off to start setting up for their Tron after we blew up we've stopped two of their pieces. We're not going to do anything with this mana. We're going to save the Stomp for the one ring. But I mean, if they play, they can't get the one ring down yet. So we have another turn. We'll get a Shivan Devastator down first. Alright, well, another land. It's not the worst. It does make a really big Shivan Devastator come in. However, I don't know. This is Mono Blue Tron. I don't have any idea what kind of cards they have in there. If it's subtleties are in their deck. Or what, but they must have something. It's uncounterable. Subtlety is the answer they need. Hopefully this resolves and we start beating face. Yep, there's the subtlety. We will put that on top because we like the Shivan Devastator. Alright, Mono Blue Tron. You had the subtlety. You're going to go get another Tron piece, so you have the answer for the Alpine Moon as well, so that you can do a bunch of stuff in one turn. Yep. Going to go get a Blast Zone. It's a good card. It will slow us down and speed them up. But they'll have to take a whole turn to do it. I assume they'll do it this turn. If they don't, that's fine. Can always do it in response, I guess. Maybe they have another subtlety. I'm not sure why else you would just let us tap for all this mana. Unless they have some other crazy answer. Or they know what's coming. The Devastator. Yeah, so burn into mono. Well, mono blue is sort of a new iteration of Tron, but still it's Tron. You don't normally see that. Alright, what do you got, homie? Blast zone time? Something else? Just don't know why they did it then and not. That's why, because it's a 1 mana. Yep. Alright, fair enough. Into a land. Yep, the X mana, I mean, hey look, that's one of the risks you play with Hydras. And that's why they come so early in the deck lists. They count as 1 mana spells. I was really hoping that I misremembered that when I decided that in the One Ring. I was really hoping I misremembered that. And I did not. Well, Bone Crusher, we got you in there for that. Do we even care anymore about stomping anything? I mean, we need some big draws here. Hydra, Ozolith. Alright, well the Ozolith is not bad. But yeah, oh man. Just the blowout city with that blast zone. Well played, opponent. And definitely was hoping I didn't remember that correctly. I was hoping that X would count for something, but you can always cast it for 0, so it's a 1 mana spell. And Hydras are weak to that kind of anything that can target 1 mana. Well, what are we going to do now? They are digging for their pieces, and they'll probably find them. With the One Ring. Alright. Put target artifact, so they can now get their expedition map back. So we'd like another Alpine Moon, or another, or, you know, really we just want ways to interact with what they're doing in Field of Ruin or Alpine Moon, or a Hydra for the threat. Land. So we could have stomped into Bone Crusher to see if we drew action, but I just don't really want to do that yet. It feels unfortunate, like it's really not the best use of our mana and our turn. So they're gonna maybe we would have drawn something else. We'd have hit that land off the Bone Crusher into something else. Alright, but put target artifact card from graveyard on the top of your library, so they'll get the expedition map. Draw it, crack it, have Tron online. Okay, well, this game is quickly getting away from us. That getting the blast zone was a big blowout after what we've been drawing since, and maybe the Bone Crusher, stomping the Bone Crusher was the right play, just to try to dig us deeper, faster. And we missed that opportunity last turn. Will it matter? Not if they follow this up with something like Ulamog or Ugin or something like that. I mean, they're going to have to they'll have the 7 mana, so they could just get Karn down. Or even a Worm Coil would be really painful for us, but okay, they're keeping up counter magic. Interesting. Even though we have this Domri. Guess that way they can counter an Alpine Moon or something. Okay, well we're going to go ahead and stomp, because we should have done this last turn, but they'll probably counterspell this, to be honest. But this would give us a chance to draw a card off this Kiora if we don't draw action. Action, please. Alright, that's something. Did they find another subtlety? So that's X equals 6, or I can make it X equals 7. We're just going to go for it. The good thing about the Devastator is, with the Ozolith out, depending on how they go about answering it, the counter should get on the Ozolith. Subtlety, sure. Now they can kill down our Kiora. We'll top it. Yeah, I mean, the blue aspect of their deck has really allowed them to manage the game in a way that is going to let them win. We're not out of it yet, but it's getting close to where we're done. We could have run out the Stomp there and drawn out the subtlety that way, perhaps. Or played the Bone Crusher, I mean. Kept the Shivan Devastator for another time. 9 manas. That seems alright. Mindslaver, sacrifice. You control target player and that player's next turn. So that means they're going to what? Draw our Hydra. Probably cast it for 0, kill it. I don't know. They could. We'll see. We'll let them have our turn. That's fine. Let our opponent have their fun. How often do we get to play Mindslaver? How often do you get to see someone play Mindslaver? I feel like it'd just be a salty scoop right now to be like, I'm not going to let you take my turn. We all know what I'm drawing. We all know that you're not going to want to cast it. You'll cast it for 0. That's another drawback of the Hydras. When your opponent takes your turn and draws a Hydra, they can cast it for 0. Kill the Kiora. That was our chief way of getting back in this. Man, they've had double subtleties. I mean, they're drawing a lot of cards off the One Ring. So, of course, now they're looking for a Worm Coil. I wonder what they're going to do. Let's find out. I mean, opponent. Come on, opponent. What are you doing with the manas? I mean, I'm letting you do your Mindslaver shenanigans out of the kindness and the goodness of my heart. I'm empty-handed and you tap all my mana. Sure, that's like what you always want to do when your opponent when you're in charge of your opponent's turn, but you know what's in my hand. You know what I can do. That's just the rub-ins, man. Alright, well, they're at 9. We're at 15. They have a bunch of cards in hand. Do they find a finisher? Do they find a way to gain life, close out this game? Another One Ring is one way. So now they can chain together One Rings with this Academy Ruins, if they so choose. And then they can go get any number of ways to interact with what we're doing, either by blowing up stuff, getting another threat, getting a Worm Coil to gain their life back. Walking Ballista would be pretty good. Yeah, I mean, this has been everything. We've just been picked apart. Pithing Needle. Yeah, that's fine too. That seems like a... I don't even know what you name with Pithing Needle. I suppose Domri, and then I can't make my things uncounterable, and they must have a handful of counter spells. It feels like this is they maybe are playing it very safe. They can shut down any sort of uncounterable Hydra that isn't Mistcutter to protect their life total. I mean, they already have with the One Ring though, so feels like this is a ultra cautious play. But it does stop me from being able to cast Bone Crusher or kill the Subtlety. So there is that. And that is currently their only threat. However, with 7 cards and a Karn, I can't imagine that they're not going to have something soon. And we draw Utopia Sprawl. I mean, we'll run out this... We'll name green again. We'll run out the Bone Crusher. I'm sure that with our 4-3 Bone Crusher and our opponent untapping with the One Ring and a Karn, that we're totally in this, man. We are totally in this. And they're just going to loop the One Ring. Oh, they're going to go back and get Mindslaver. Alright, at this point, opponent, you're not going to get to have your fun. Well, folks, I'll just return the favor after they tapped all of our lands and just let them sit while we have our wrap up. Sometimes it feels good to be petty. Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, we have the tools to beat Tron. We have the cards to threaten them, and game 1 we just couldn't find any action, and we got blown out a little bit both games with our ex-Hydras. So yeah, opponent played it well. They have blue in there for a reason. Clearly, this is a new angle of Tron. I mean, mono blue Tron's been around for a while, but I haven't seen it recently. So yeah, I mean, it seems good. Seems really good against us. So unfortunately, we're off to the, well, not completely unexpected 1-3 start. We'll see if we can get this last match to get for our match our bar of a 2-3 with all of our janky Gruul decks. But for CyclesGaming.com, this is Johnny Cycles. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Wow, man. Alright, some lands. Cool. Well, we'll get them to the next time, right? Alright, thanks for watching. This has been another edition of Keeping Modern Janky with Johnny Cycles. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my website, cyclesgaming.com, for original Magic the Gathering content. You can read about my Commander decks or my janky modern brews. My latest article is about the zombie pre-con and its effect on Commander. I give you a couple different deck lists. If you're interested in a science fiction / fantasy novel, be sure to check out my book, The Podcon. I'm publishing it serially, a couple chapters every month. Again, thanks for watching. Check me out on YouTube, Johnny Cycles. Click that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next one.